Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you could help me out and give this video a thumbs up, it would be hugely appreciated. So I'm standing by the pottinger. I was using this the other day just before the rain, and on the last field there was a concrete block which, as I was going along, the disc caught it, and as you can see, the disc has broken off the cultivator. So if you have a look here, this is what remains of the discs. Bit of a problem really, because I love the discs on this pottinger because I use them for guides. I did take the middle discs out and I noticed it doesn't bung up on more established grassland, but if you have a look there, it's a bit of a shame really where it's broken. This was actually a weld, and it was welded together like that on the outside, and if you have a look where it's actually broken, it's actually sheared the weld off. That's what's happened, and there was no metal holding the middle together. It was just from the outside. So I think what I'll have to do is, if I can find someone to help me weld this up this week. We've also got the bucket in the farmyard, the old horse bucket, which is damaged at the moment. That's just getting old, and it's unfortunately cracked. So we'd like to hopefully, if I could this week, get this fixed, the disc and the bucket from the horse yard. Just remembering all of these jobs which have got to be done. I'm just having a look on the other side of the discs. This here is how the discs are actually joined together, the metal bar. It's a weld. It's difficult to see, but there's still a weld nonetheless, and it's actually where the other side over there is cracked. It's at this welding point. It's difficult to pick it up on camera, but that must just be how they're designed. They obviously weld the discs onto the bottom, so the bearing's all right. I've been looking on here as well this weekend for a grease nipple, but there isn't anything to grease this bearing. It's just one of those things. It must be a non-greasable part. You don't grease it, I guess. One of those things. And elsewhere on the farm this weekend, we've had a really bad storm, and my cherry twin spike has fallen over. So it's time to find an area where I can put the spike, where it won't be knocked over by the wind. The gale winds have been terrible. Back in the Manitou, I've been picking up a few things from the road show the other day. I could lift it up with the hooks, but the trouble is I can't actually get the hooks that low enough. So I'll find a bale we can stick that into and just make a safe place with the twin spike. Not only for this storm, which has just blown it over, but also for the equine people who enjoy horse riding around the farm. Something I need to learn, or haven't been doing properly, is when I lift the joystick up like that, sometimes if you go back down, if you just listen to that sensor going off, it's a health and safety sensor which Manitou put on. If I press and hold this button down here, it will allow me to use the Manitou to its full capability. So that's something I've learned. This button here, I need to learn the word of what this button is called, but it is amazing, this one. It's a special Manitou button which overrides the calibration, which is pretty cool. Now, just there is a bale which it's gone mouldy, and I was going to put it through the muck spreader. I still will. However, it's going to be quite handy as a new place to store this bale spikes, to keep it safe really, and to stop it from blowing over. So if you have any ideas of how we could store the bale spike, like a contraption or something like that could make for it, do leave it in the comments. For now, I'll just use this old bale, which was a damaged one from last year, which I've rewrapped. For now, we will use this as a safe solution. So I'll keep it somewhere else, near the Marston maybe, where it's safe and out of the way, but I can still get to it if I need to. I've also got to pick up that silo type, put that in the shed. So if it's lower to the ground, but not too low, that'll make a big difference. That will do for now. It's not going to go anywhere. I've been a bit concerned about the AS Marston getting full of water because we've had so much rain recently, and also because I use it every day for the horse muck. What I do is down below, just in this corner, I just get a screwdriver and have a little scrat about here. And somewhere in here is very high tech on this farm, as you can see. But somewhere, there it is. You see that little hole? That is what stops this trailer filling up with water. The only trouble is, when I get muck in here, the muck makes its way towards the hole. Any left sediment, it blocks up the hole, so I have to keep just keeping the hole a little bit open like that. And another thing is I just scrape the muck away a bit. But it's just a constant job. I could make the hole a little bit bigger, but it's without that hole there, the trailer just fills up with water and then it rusts. And just whilst we're up here, I wanted to just talk about the roadshow the other day, looking at those lovely Manitous. Some of you have commented about them, the 841, the 635. They are fantastic machines, and I still like JCB, I still like Merlot. There's lots of good brands out there, it just depends what you like the most. And just for this farm, we've really gotten used to the 630 here, and hopefully towards the start of next year, we're going to have a look at the updated 630, which has got a slightly quicker hydraulic system. It's got, as I said in the video, some LED lights on the boom. That just really depends how much nighttime work you're doing. This time of the year, I notice when it goes dark at about 5, we're using the lights a bit more in the yard, but then obviously in the summer we don't use the lights so much. So really, you know, the lights are for winter more than anything. And we've now done 1,500 hours with this machine, almost 1,500 hours. It will have its first major service with us. There's a little bit of a problem at the front of the headstock there. We've got a valve gone, and I noticed the other day on the new models, they don't have the valve. They've actually gotten rid of it. It's like a breather valve. And so there are a few updates. You know, they're constantly updating these machines to just make them a little bit better, to make them more reliable. And that's something which is really interesting, because at the end of the day, you do want a good, reliable machine. And touch wood, for the year that we've had it, this has been really reliable, this Manitou. Except from just the breather valve, it's been as good as gold. And it does a good 1,000 hours a year now with the contracting and around the yard here. I'll just turn it off because we are just using a bit of fuel there, which is not good when it's going up in price at the moment. 8p a litre it's gone up, so it's all adding up really to the cost of the farm. It's done a good job for us really so far, and like I say, we are really happy with it. We'll just have a look under the bonnet, because something the other day when I was looking at that 841, I noticed how clean it was. You know, that for such a big engine, things were fairly well organised. Yeah, even still on the little 630 here, we've got a Deutz engine, 4-cylinder. They're made in Germany, and they actually put Deutz engines in really high quality tractor brands in Fendt tractors. And I haven't forgotten, we will go and look at a Deutz tractor, get one of those on demo at some point, because these engines are fantastic. It's got so much low down torque and grunt for such a small 4-cylinder engine. This is probably one of the best telehandler engines we've used. And on the older JCB, the earlier ones, they used to have Perkins on the 526s we had, and then they switched over to, I believe, an American engine, Kohler/JCB. And personally, I do like the Deutz engine now. Made in Germany, reliable, and they are pretty good with the emissions. This emissions system in here, I believe, is part of Deutz, and Bosch have worked together on it over in Germany, and it is a fantastic system. You can see Deutz is imprinted on the side there. They've really just gone to town on designing the system to be as reliable but also as compact as possible. Because it blows itself out, it's got the automatic reverse fan option, so every 3 minutes it will just do a quick blowback. The fan will reverse all the rubbish out of the radiator. And if you remember this time last year, we just had the John Deere with a front loader. So this is a dream come true for me, and it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you guys. So thanks for watching the channel for all these years and keeping supporting what we do. And I hope she'll be able to keep going for us, this Manitou, and keep going strong. It is a bit of a difficult one. You know, I guess you get so many hours with a machine nowadays and you think, well, you know, give it another 5 years, would you ever change it? But to be fair, if it does the job, if it keeps going, what's the point of changing? The one we looked at the other day was 115, this is 105, so they have uprated the horsepower by 15%. But I tell you what, 105 horsepower, it's still pretty good. She still does the job, so, you know, I can't complain too much. But there's always, the grass is always greener, isn't it? You know, well, you can always think, wish for more in life, look at new equipment and things like that, but actually, it's nice to sometimes sit back, appreciate what you have got, and reflect on it, you know. So, we're really happy with this machine. We do like JCB, as I've said. We are still big fans of their equipment. We just found that this is the one for us, for our small yards. And I know as some people say to support British farming. I support British farming, it's what I promote. And I do have links to France. Some of my family have grown up there and spent a lot of time over there. So I I can't. Maybe it's a bit of an excuse for me, but I do like that part of the world. It's a lovely place, and something I picked up when I was at the roadshow the other day. There was a new Massey Ferguson 8S there, and funnily enough, they are made in France as well. So we've got a French telehandler, and of course the new Massey Fergusons are, although owned by AGCO, they are built in France. So with Sisu engines, which are built in Finland, and I must say the Europeans build some good stuff. You know, they do build some good stuff, and I was always a fan of the European Union back in the day with the farm, because the EU helped the farm tick along with the subsidies, with some good schemes. And at the end of the day, if it wasn't for that, we couldn't have kept going. So I don't think we should necessarily shun Europe. We need to get along with them, be friends. I know recently there's been some talks about the fishing deals and what's been going on in the channel crossing, but we have got to be positive, try to remain friends with Europe, remain friends in this country as a unit, be one, be positive and stick together, you know, because I see a lot of, these days, in these darker times, a lot of division. And I think, you know, we need to be one unit, and then we can achieve great things. So that's sort of my message for today, is unity. Look at the great products Europe makes, and this country as well. JCB makes some great stuff. New Holland as well, that's one we'll be looking at soon. Manufacturing those tractors in Basildon, some great tractors still being made by C&H in the UK, and even just across the channel, Europe's still making some great stuff as well. So I hope in the future we'll be able to look at some more European equipment and some British equipment, and we'll all develop and grow together. So thanks for watching today's video, and keep subscribing, keep liking. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh yes, and happy Halloween. It's Halloween tonight. I've never really been too big into Halloween. I prefer, to be honest, just chilling out, Halloween, having a cup of tea, go and check the mugs out there on Teespring, and enjoying my evening. So if you are doing Halloween, have fun and be safe out there, and yeah, have a good time.